as I look back and I reflect on these, people always have this sentiment, is there too many bowl games? Is there some, some of the luster, is that kind of worn off? Well, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm a football junkie. And I love the fact that there's this many bowl games. I think it's fantastic rewards for players. I think it's fantastic for the fans over the holidays to be able to sit down with family and friends and watch bowl games on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or a Wednesday afternoon. College football is an escape. And when you have that many cool games and these cool matchups that aren't, interconference matchups, I think it's really neat. So the bowl season has been amazing. Not over yet because we still got the big one to come, but I think it's been an amazing bowl season.
When you're a football player, you don't have a lot of free time, between class, going to the facility for extra film study, lifting weights, eating, practice, walkthroughs, film study. There's just not a lot of wiggle room to just be a normal student, which, by the way, I'm not complaining about. I'm okay with. That's just what you sign up for. So when you get to a bowl game, wow, you get practice in the morning, and then they give you 8 hours of freedom. So in our case, we're in Tampa or we're in Orlando, or, if you're in the Rose Bowl, you're in Pasadena, whatever it is, and back in those days, they would give you a car, and they put like 3 or 4 players would be with one senior or one guy and responsible for a guy, hey, he's in charge of you to get you to a beach or get you wherever you're going to go. And we would just go and be regular people and hang out and go to, and we were in Orlando, we'd go to Disney or Magic Kingdom or whatever. And we're just kids, we're 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. And we were having the time of our lives, and we would go to bowl functions and see the team we're playing, and we'd hang out with them a little bit. So it was a very, very, I know that's yesteryear, but that was just a very cool experience for us to go through. And I think everybody, if you took a poll, everybody appreciated what we were doing.
I grew up as a BYU football fan, and my dad, we had season tickets my father's entire life, and he took us to bowl games around the holidays. And so my family memories and my intertwined memories as a kid all revolve around bowl season. Often the Holiday Bowl, that's a bowl that has a lot of special meaning to me because that seemed to be the game that BYU would go to often.
We always looked at a bowl game as a reward / vacation. And I think what put that extra emphasis on it was the fact that, in South Bend, man, the weather's turned. Like as soon as the calendar says it's the first day or that doggone temperature drops. And hey, the first day of winter, that doggone, it's crazy. So you're always looking for some type of warm embrace from the weather. So the fact that we were going down to Miami was something that we always look forward to. And it's not, we were back in the days where the gifts, if you will, weren't as lavish as they are now. And when teams go to bowl games, man, it's like those doggone bowl games, just the gifts alone, it boggles your mind. It is pretty amazing. And then we were looking forward to, because we used to stay at this place, I think it's called Key Biscayne, because the Orange Bowl was right over the bridge. And man, that was like the lavish life. It was back in the day, they had this show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Man, this hotel was the epitome of that. So it was like, that was something that we all look forward to.
Football is football. Everything's the same. No matter what field you're on, the lines are the same amount of ways apart. The field's the same. Different may have different logos and stuff on it, but the football aspect of it was the same. It was just a matter of getting out. The different engagement that each bowl committee would put on, the events. I remember at least at one time going to a horse racing event, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. We did that at the Gator Bowl. The train ride we did when we was in Boise, Idaho. It's just those different things that kind of set each city apart from one another. And then I remember walking through the underground of Atlanta, really for the first time. back when that was going on pretty good. But it was just those experiences that you get to see the different cultures of the different cities, for me, was the biggest part.
Kind of promote ourselves, their bowls are better in the Bahamas, because it kind of rhymes and goes together, but it really is. And I've had a lot of the ADs that have left years later and said, well, I've gone to this bowl game, or I've gone to this bowl game. Some of them have moved up to the group, up to the Power 5 or Power 5 ADs, and they say still the greatest memory we have is being in the Bahamas and Nassau and the experience we had there. So we're thrilled with the opportunity that we can give and give that experience to the student athletes and coaches and staff.
There was nothing like the Orange Bowl. We stayed at the Fontainebleau Hotel, and I just didn't know this, but about 6 or 7 years ago, they refurbished it and renovated. It's an amazing place now. It looks nothing like it used to look, like before. But I want to be at the Fontainebleau Hotel. I want to be down at Miami Vice. I want to be down on South Beach. I want to be part of it. All this dudes from Oklahoma never been on, down at South Beach, where it's a little trendier and it's a little different than Norman, Oklahoma. But just want to be part of that whole picture and the whole experience. There was something about being on South Beach, staying at the Fontainebleau Hotel, and actually winning that game afterwards, because you knew the afterward party was going to be great. And I was watching Scarface. Some of you guys have watched Scarface before, but there's a scene about the Fontainebleau Hotel, and I'm like, yeah, I was there. In the fact, though, I was able to meet Fabio before Fabio became this great Fabio with the great hair. First time I ever met Fabio down on Fontainebleau at the Orange Bowl was him and with the supermodel girlfriend, and I thought that was cool. Little did I know, 10 or 15 years later, or however long it was, he's going to bring this household name, have this long hair, and be the Fabio that we do. So that's kind of a backdrop to that, and a little footnote of what the experience I had in the Orange Bowl.
The bowl week is when you really live together as a team. You've got your roommates back at home, but now in the bowl season, I actually remember that was the week that I felt like I got to know more of my teammates at a deeper level, because we would just sit in that lounge all week long, have snacks, watch film, play arcade, play video games. And so those are the weeks that I think I remember the most, just because the brotherhood and the bond went past football and it went past the locker room, and we just hung out and we lived together for the week.
We're out in the middle of the ocean off the coast of Mexico, and we see this huge, I don't think people realize how big submarines are, but a submarine comes out of the ocean, comes out of the water, and it looked like a mountain came out of the water, and we were like, what is that? And we saw this submarine go, it was like these big, that was something I'll never forget, of seeing an actual real submarine coming out of the water while we're going deep sea fishing.
Did they do that just for y'all? Or?
No, it just happened to be, I don't know. Maybe they did do it for us. I don't think so.
What was so special for us is you get all the swag that you get from going to the bowl games. You get, sweatsuits, you get athletic apparel, you get, the bowl ring, the bowl watch, all those things that I still have today, and I've given to my father. My father still wears, the bowl watch to this day. And, as far as experiences, going out to Anaheim, going to, Knott's Berry Farm, to just the different sightseeing places that we did. And being from a service academy too, we always had a large military contingent that we would go visit. If there was a base in the local area, we would do visits to that base. And it was always great to see, and to appreciate and to honor the men and women that served.
For us to do interviews, we had to take a helicopter to go into LA, really to see anything, because of all the traffic it would have caused. So getting on the helicopter, it was my first time ever being in a helicopter. And the pilot actually told us that he was gonna, go around the stadium during the game. And we asked him, could he take a couple inches? My roommate was called Keith Byers. And Keith matter of fact, Keith did all the talking. I was too busy, at awe of the view. And he took us over to Rose Bowl, and And on our way to the interview and then on our way back, he actually told us that he would take some pictures and try to get them to us. And my mother has it in her house now in our library.
Having that time that you spend with them, it's almost like a Christmas time. You know, everything, you know, you wake up Christmas morning and everything is good. The buffet tastes better. Everything you're around, the orange juice, everything just tastes better because you're with your guys that you were in college, but now you're on like a vacation together. And, you know, just to get that opportunity to be in a different environment and spend the time with your teammates, I think that's what I remember most about these bowl games. The games themselves were pretty good, but just what Chris was saying, when you're spending time with these guys that you know, personally, you don't really have an opportunity to go to these places, but then as a group, collectively, you're never going to go to these places with these people that are your teammates. It's that's what makes the bowl season special. And then you get all the sweatsuits and the watches and all this stuff. And when you're when you're younger, you're like, oh, I got a free pair of shoes, or I got a sweatsuit with Michigan on it. It was great. Like, those are the things that really get you going.